Let me ask you a question. What if the reason your team isn't hitting its full potential has nothing to do with their skills, but everything to do with you? I just discovered something that top performing teams in real estate are using to absolutely crush their goals. It's called the Pygmalion Effect, and it's a game changer. This idea transforms how I manage people, and it could be the secret weapon you have been missing. Stick with me because what I'm about to share could completely shift how you lead your team and skyrocket their results. Before we dive in, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Ben Handler, and I bootstrapped Australia's largest buyer's agent business in my 20s, securing $3 billion in deal flow. Today, I run an 8-figure online education company that helps people like you unlock their potential. I've worked with some of the top performing teams in real estate, and I've seen firsthand how expectations can transform results. The Pygmalion Effect is one of the most powerful tools I've ever used to help teams achieve goals they once thought were impossible. Now, let me show you how this works. The Pygmalion Effect is all about one thing: expectations. It's named after an old Greek myth, but its real value is in how it applies to leadership and team performance. The concept is simple. When you set high expectations for your team and believe they can achieve more, they will. The reverse is also true. Low expectations leads to low performance. It sounds obvious, right? But the science and psychology behind this are fascinating. And when applied correctly, it's like unlocking a hidden cheat code for team success. Here's why this works. Expectations shape behavior. It's similar to something called the Pygmalion Effect, which has been studied extensively in psychology. When leaders expect more from their team members, those individuals tend to perform better. It's not magic. It's about creating a belief system that motivates people to push past their perceived limits. Think about it. If you tell your team, you're capable of doubling your sales this quarter and you genuinely believe in them, you create an environment where that goal feels possible. Contrast with low expectations, just hit the bare minimum and I'll be happy. Your team will meet the bar you set. No higher, no lower. The takeaway? Your expectations aren't just passive thoughts. They're active forces shaping how your team thinks and acts. Now, let's get specific. In real estate, where sales targets and commissions drive everything, expectations are critical. Imagine telling an agent who's been closing 5 deals a month that they can hit 10. If you set the goal, show them a clear path, and then back them with tools and support, you'll see a shift. Here's the magic of the Pygmalion Effect. It's not just about setting high goals, it's about showing belief. For example, I once coached a team where the agents were stuck hitting the same targets month after month. I told them, look, this is what's possible. I've seen others do it, and I know you can too. Then we broke it down. What does a 10 deal month look like? How does their daily activities need to shift? What mindset belief shifts are they required to believe they can achieve it? Within 2 months, 70% of the team had hit numbers they previously thought were impossible. That's the Pygmalion Effect in action. Here's the ugly truth. If your team is underperforming, it might be your fault. Many leaders unintentionally hold their teams back by setting low expectations or failing to communicate belief in their abilities. Have you ever thought, my team just isn't cut out for big goals, or they'll never hit those numbers? Those thoughts seep into your leadership style, and guess what? Your team picks up on it. But here's the good news. You can flip this script. By raising your expectations and showing your team what's possible, you can break through the invisible ceiling holding them back. So, how do you apply the Pygmalion Effect? It's not just about shouting motivational slogans or setting sky-high goals. It's about creating a culture of belief and action. Here's a 3-step framework. Number 1, set stretch goals with a roadmap. A goal without a plan is just a wish. If you're telling your agents to double their sales, show them actually how to get there. Break it down into daily activities. How many calls? How many show-ups? How many follow-ups, etc. Make the goal ambitious but achievable. Number 2, reinforce belief. Words matter. Regularly remind your team that you believe in them. Celebrate wins, big and small. Reinforce the idea that success isn't just possible, it's expected. Number 3, provide resources and support. High expectations without support will backfire. Equip your team with the tools, the training, and mentorship they need to succeed. Now let's talk about what happens if you don't do this. Low expectations don't just limit your team's performance, they can create a toxic work environment. If your team feels like you don't believe in them, they'll stop believing in themselves. This leads to burnout, turnover, and a culture of mediocrity. So take a hard look at how you're leading. Are you lifting your team up or are you holding them back? Let's look at some real world examples. In North America, some of the top performing real estate teams are applying this principle. They set audacious goals and create environments where agents feel empowered to achieve them. One team I studied went from averaging 10 million in monthly sales to 25 million within 1 year. Their secret? Raising expectations and doubling down on belief and support. In Australia, I worked with a team that was struggling to hit average numbers. By shifting their mindset and using the Pygmalion Effect, they doubled their revenue in just 6 months. The lesson: this isn't theory, it works. So here's your wake-up call. Take a look at how you're leading your team. Are you setting high enough expectations? Are you showing them what's possible, providing the support they need to get there? The Pygmalion Effect is your secret weapon to unlock their full potential. Start applying it today and watch what happens. Remember this, leadership isn't about managing tasks or checking boxes. It's about inspiring belief and creating an environment where big wins are the norm. The next time you're setting goals for your team, ask yourself, am I pushing them to be the best? Or am I holding them back? Because at the end of the day, your team will only rise as high as the bar you set. So raise it, and you might just be amazed at what they achieve.